Hey everyone, it's Hannah. So I've been giving a lot of thought to one of the reasons that I think people fail in business when they're starting out. And people talk about lack of funding and people not having enough technical know-how when they're running a business, and all those things are really, really true. One of the things that I found for myself, and this is after like dismal failure, I mean epic failure of astronomical proportions. And it's one of those things that a lot of the times when we fail, I think it's important to look back and to think, why did I fail? And to investigate, to find out what the reasons were so we don't repeat them. Because if we didn't learn from it, then it's kind of pointless. And it's almost guaranteed that we're going to make the same mistakes. So I just started to think for myself, what was it that I did? And there was a number of things, and maybe at some point I'll unpack them. One of the things that it was for me was just not wanting to start from the bottom, you know? So I had been pretty successful in my career as a financial journalist and being on TV as an anchor and all sorts of things. And I'd worked so hard at that. I had worked when I was in college, I had worked so hard when I was at college. And then when I was finished, I worked so hard as an intern. I mean, even before I started as an intern, I did so much free work, I cannot even tell you. Like my entire portfolio, and I had a massive portfolio by the time that I was having to go into my third year. I already had like an insane portfolio of all the free work that I had done writing for newspapers. And so I became an intern. I worked so hard at that. And when I started at my first job after being an intern, I worked as hard as I possibly knew how. And then it was crazy hours. There was a time when I was doing a shift where I had to be at work at 2 o'clock in the morning every day, Monday to Friday. So I had paid my dues for whatever success that I was experiencing in my career. So here I am, I start my business, and I was like, you know what, I've already paid my dues. I'm not going through all of that again, starting from the bottom, doing a bunch of free work like I did when I was starting out in my journalism career. And so for the longest time, I just pitched my expectation of success like right up there. And you know what? I failed terribly because I was starting at the bottom again, because the kind of business that I was starting was something that I hadn't done before. And so sometimes when we start a business, we're expecting, and especially if you've had a successful career before, you're thinking to yourself, I've paid my dues. I'm not going to start from the bottom again. The reality of it is you probably are. You probably are going to start from the bottom. Even if it's in an industry that you were working in, now that you're having to get your own clients, now that you're having to sell your own ideas, your own product or your own service, you're starting from the bottom. And the moment that I accepted that and I made that switch in my head of I'm not owed anything by anyone. Nobody knows me in this space that I'm in right now. I am going to have to learn everything. I am going to have to pay my dues. I'm going to have to prove myself. I'm going to have to go out there from one person to another, from one potential client to another, and sell my idea, sell my concept and what it is that I want to do, and just do the rounds as though I am starting completely afresh, because that is what it means to start over. And so that was a humbling experience for me, but also an amazing experience, because there are things that you learn that when you're starting something new, that if you don't give yourself that mindset of, I'm not over there, I am starting at the beginning. And you know what? The scriptures say, don't despise small beginnings. Don't despise it. Don't despise where you are if you're starting over or if you're starting again. Just change your head and think about, you know what, I'm starting something different and I'm starting something new. And if it's your concept, if it's something that's been on your heart, it is so important. And you will never forgive yourself if you do not pursue your heart's dreams. And so what you're doing, yes, it's hard. Yes, it feels like, oh, I just want to go back to the days when I had everything that I'd worked so hard for. You know what? The time is going to come for you. It will come. But just realize that you are in a new space now, and it's rebuilding from scratch. And it can be such a beautiful thing if you allow it to be. And if you just humble yourself and you say, I'm starting, But again, I'm going to build myself up to that place where I was when I was hugely successful. I wish you all the success, and I totally believe in you.